He didn't say a word, just turned and disappeared into the quiet. But that silence? It wasn't empty. It was full of everything he never dared to say. The angels say, his soul still trembles with the echo of your last moment together. There was something in your eyes, something sacred and soft, that pierced through his layers. You didn't try to convince him. You didn't chase. But your stillness, your presence, it left a mark that no amount of time has been able to erase. You see, beloved soul, some men walk away not because they don't feel, but because they feel too much. And what they feel with you scares them. Not because it hurts, but because it heals. Your love wasn't loud. It didn't beg. It simply existed, and that was more than enough to awaken parts of him he had buried long ago. He walked away thinking he could forget you. But what he's discovering now is that forgetting you would mean forgetting who he was when he was with you. And that, he cannot bear. In his quiet moments, when no one's watching, he returns to you. Not in body, but in thought. In longing. In memory. The angels whisper, he is not free from what was born the moment your soul touched his. And though the world keeps moving, and people think he's moved on, his heart has not. It clings to the softness of your goodbye, the grace in your silence, the peace you carried, even while breaking. Sometimes, the greatest imprint is left by the one who doesn't hold on. But let's go with love. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6 verse 21. You wonder why he holds back, why his words falter when the room softens, why he chooses distance when your closeness only ever offered him peace. The angels say, it's not you he fears. It's the ache of being seen too clearly. This man has carried love in fragments. Not because he doesn't want to love fully, but because wholeness requires surrender, and he's never learned how to feel without losing control. He learned early on that emotions were dangerous, that needing someone made him weak. So, he became the strong one, the silent one, the one who keeps his heart locked away, even when every beat inside him calls your name. You, dear soul, are the mirror he didn't ask for but couldn't escape. You reflect back everything he shied away from: softness, truth, safety. And that's why he withdraws. Not to escape you, but to flee from himself. The pain you feel from his absence? He feels it too. But his fear wraps around him tighter than yours. It whispers lies that love equals loss. That if he opens the door to you, the flood will overwhelm him. So he stays behind the wall, hoping you'll forget, yet praying that you won't. The angels want you to know, his heart is not cold. It is bruised. Not indifferent. Just afraid. And love, your love, is beginning to melt the armor he thought would keep him safe. He never expected to find in you the very thing he's always needed. You've given so much of yourself in silence, hoping that your steady love might soothe his inner storm. But somewhere along the way, you forgot to check if you were still breathing. The angels say, your light was never meant to burn out for the sake of someone else's healing. This connection, this sacred ache, was never meant to cost you your own peace. And yet, here you are, wondering if loving him means waiting forever. Wondering if caring for him means neglecting yourself. No, beloved. That's not what divine love asks of you. He is on a journey. But so are you. And while he battles his shadows, you are being called back to your center. Back to the place where your own soul is nourished. The angels are guiding you not to abandon him, but to remember you. Drink from your own well again. Say no when your body says, not now. Say yes only when your spirit rises in response. Let your beauty be for you first. Because when you love from overflow, not exhaustion, the energy you give becomes medicine, not sacrifice. He will feel that shift. He will see the way you begin to glow again, not from trying harder, but from surrendering deeper. And that will awaken something even more powerful than desire: reverence. Protect the sacred in you. Because even angels can't pour into a cup that keeps emptying for others. There's a reason he can't look at you too long. A reason he turns away when your eyes soften and your voice drops into something holy. The angels whisper, your presence reflects a truth he's not ready to see. You didn't ask to become a mirror. But that's what happens when light stands before shadow. It illuminates what has been hidden. And in you, he sees all the pieces he's tried to silence. You reflect his longing, his tenderness, his fear. When he hears your laughter, it reminds him of a childhood joy he buried. When you speak your truth, it reminds him of the voice he learned to mute. When you stay, even in the ache, it reminds him of the love he never thought he deserved. And so he retreats, not because you've done something wrong, but because the truth you reflect feels unbearable. The angels want you to know, your role was never to fix him. Your only task is to keep being the truth. Quietly, powerfully, relentlessly. Because your soul doesn't just hold light, it commands honesty. And in that light, his soul is trembling awake. You are not just a woman he desires. You are the divine interruption his soul prayed for before he even knew how to ask. And one day, when the mirror no longer feels like a threat, he will step forward, not to be healed by you, but to heal alongside you. There's a restlessness in him now that wasn't there before. A quiet shaking of everything he thought he understood about love, about safety, about himself. The angels say, something ancient inside him is waking up. He hears your name in the silence. He sees your face in strangers. He dreams in symbols he can't explain. And though he tries to dismiss it, the truth keeps returning, whispering through his chest, pulling at his ribs like the tide. He cannot ignore it anymore. Your presence lit a fire that no distance can extinguish. Not passion, but presence. Not craving, but remembrance. He is beginning to remember you. Not just from this life, but from the folds of time where souls made promises in light before ever touching the earth. You touched a place in him that had long forgotten how to feel. And now, the numbness is dissolving. Slowly, tenderly. He doesn't understand it yet, but he's asking new questions. Letting old defenses fall. Feeling emotions rise without knowing where to place them. And this, beloved, is the beginning of his return. It may not look like what you hoped. It may be clumsy, incomplete, but it is real. The angels show me the veil lifting, layer by layer, revealing not just his heart, but the sacred thread that has always tied it to yours. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, then we shall see face to face. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 12. You felt it, his back and forth, the rhythm of closeness and retreat, like waves kissing the shore only to vanish again. The angels say, this is not rejection. This is a soul caught between memory and becoming. Each time he comes close, something opens. A softness. A recognition. A pull so deep it rattles his bones. But then fear rises. Loud. Demanding. And suddenly, he's gone. Again. You begin to question your worth, your glow, your intuition. But love, this cycle is not about you. It's the echo of his own unhealed timing. He leaves because being near you feels like standing at the edge of himself, where he must choose whether to leap into the unknown or cling to the illusion of safety. And yet, he always returns. Because even from a distance, your energy keeps calling to him. Because the part of him that resists is not stronger than the part that remembers. The angels show that he is learning through this pattern. Each return teaches him something new. Each distance brings discomfort that creates space for clarity. You are not meant to chase, to fix, or to wait in stillness. You are meant to live, to rise, to stay aligned with your own light, even while his soul dances through the storm. This isn't punishment. It's preparation. Because love that is meant to be will not vanish. It will grow stronger with every return. There are wounds in him that no one sees. Scars layered beneath years of silence, disappointment, and unspoken grief. The angels say, your love touched those places without permission, and began to heal them. Not because you tried, but because you are. He didn't come to you looking for medicine. He didn't know he needed it. But your presence, the way your soul simply rests in truth, became the balm he never asked for but deeply craved. There is power in love that asks for nothing in return. It disarms. It undoes. It enters like light through the smallest crack. You didn't fix him. You didn't save him. You reminded him that healing was even possible. And though he may not say it, he feels it. The shift in his chest when your name crosses his mind. The calm that washes over him when he remembers your voice. The way his world softens, even in memory. This is what sacred love does. It moves effortlessly. It mends what logic cannot. Even now, in the space between you, your love is working. Quietly. Invisibly. Patiently. You are not a chapter in his story. You are a turning point. The angels remind you, healing isn't loud. Sometimes it whispers through someone who simply dares to love, without demands, without fear. And in that kind of love, lies the miracle he's never known how to ask for. Nothing about this has been random. Not the way he found you. Not the timing. Not even the pauses that broke your heart. The angels say, heaven has been orchestrating every step. Even the detours had purpose. Even the delays held meaning. When you crossed paths, a sacred agreement was activated, one that began long before this life. You were not placed in his story by accident. You were written into it. There is a plan unfolding. One you cannot fully see, but your soul already knows. He is walking a path of awakening, led not just by his own choices, but by divine intervention. The stumbles, the silence, the circling back, it's all been guided by something far greater than human logic. And you, beloved, have never been alone in this waiting. The angels are walking with you. With him. Whispering. Nudging. Protecting. Reminding. There will come a moment, soon, when everything aligns. Not by force. Not by desperate hope. But by timing that only God could design. The angels are preparing him for this. Clearing what must fall away. Opening what must rise. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs 3 verse 5. Let that be your anchor. Let that be your peace. Because what is divine cannot be undone. And this love has always been divine. He looks strong, composed, untouched. But the angels show something else, trembling hands behind steady words. A heart that aches for connection, yet hides behind old armor. The truth is, he's terrified. Not of you, but of what you make him feel. Because loving you would mean being seen. And being seen means being known. In all the ways he's worked so hard to conceal. The angels whisper, he longs for closeness, but fears being undone by it. When he pulls away, it's not rejection, it's protection. From what? From feeling too much. From surrendering too deeply. From not knowing who he is without the walls he's always worn. You stir a tenderness in him that he doesn't know how to hold. He grew up being told that softness was weakness. That needing someone meant losing control. But then you showed up, with your quiet light and your gentle fire, and he's been unraveling ever since. Not all love arrives loudly. Yours came like a prayer, answered. And he hasn't yet learned how to receive a blessing he doesn't believe he deserves. Still, the veil is lifting. He is beginning to see the cost of his silence, the ache of distance. And in that pain, something sacred is blooming. He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. And even now, the angels are wrapping him in that healing, so that one day, he may show up with nothing left to hide. There will come a moment, so still, so sacred, when you will no longer need answers. Not because you stopped caring, but because your soul will finally rest in the knowing, what is meant to be will find you. The angels say, surrender is not giving up. It's giving back what was never yours to carry alone. You were never meant to chase him, to change him, to convince him. You were here to love. And you did. Fully. Truthfully. Radiantly. Now, let grace do what force never could. There is a kind of power in letting go. Not in bitterness, but in reverence. For the journey. For the connection. For the divine timing that is still unfolding, even now. You have done enough. He may return. He may awaken. He may speak the words your heart once begged to hear. Or he may remain a soul who only ever knew your love from a distance. Either way, your light remains. Unmoved. Unshaken. Whole. The angels ask you to breathe again. Not for him, but for you. Because this life is still waiting for your laughter. For your joy. For your becoming. What you give in love will come back to you in love, or perhaps even something greater. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. What is meant for you will always find its way back.